All right, what's going on? Welcome back to another trade recap. We're going to make it short and sweet today. We went break even, then it hit our take profit. Unfortunate, but we move on. It's whatever. I'm going to go over a couple things I told my live Discord just because there were some things that happened today that normally like you wouldn't necessarily do, but you do because it's managing position. It's essentially what it's about. It's just about managing your position. So I just wanted to go over it, go over the trade, you know, the gist, everything that I went through, all that good stuff. So coming here into the market this morning, we are delivering off this giant 4-hour gap, right? And it was pretty apparent that we are delivering off of this and probably going to head towards this new week opening gap. Okay, that's first thing that we are noticing. Now, that's literally all I needed. Okay, that is all I needed to determine to know that we are going to push up into that new week opening gap. Personally, for me, I didn't need anything more. New week opening gaps are extremely strong draws on liquidity. Therefore, your boy doesn't need anything else, right? We're delivering off of a 4-hour gap. We have this giant gap here, okay? Then, next thing I did, obviously hopped down on this 5-minute, waited for market open. Market open, we came up, right? We actually ended up putting in this SMT before market opened with this low right here. As you can see on ES, we had swept that out, right? So there's confluence number one. That's like a 15-minute, could be potentially an hourly. No, it's just a 15-minute SMT. So that's pretty good, right? And that's what we like to see. Next thing that happened, right, market open, we came up, we tapped into this hourly gap, this hourly bearish gap. Now, personally for me, that didn't really mean much because the 4-hour that we're delivering off of and the new week opening gap above was way stronger of a draw on liquidity than this hourly gap, right? And so I obviously had the hourly gap in the back of my mind, but still thinking to myself like, okay, if we get a good setup, obviously going to want to go for that, okay? What ends up happening? Well, we come up, create this 5-minute gap right here, okay? Then what do? We tap into this 5-minute gap. I'm changing the color of this. I don't like that. Okay. Anyways, we end up tapping into this gap, right? Obviously right here you can see 5-minute gap tapped into. We also hit equilibrium of that range, right? Giving us more confluence. We have now a bullish 15-minute SMT. Everything we need, right? Now we look for our inversion, scale down a little bit. We end up getting our inversion right here off of this candle. Boom, right there. Inverse that. We ended up entering right here. Now, here's where it gets a little different, right? We went stops at this candle body like always. Targeted a 1-to-1 on this trade just because this was less than a 1-to-1 and you don't want to target negative R. Now, okay, here's where this gets a little different than normal, okay? If this was a normal trade, normal day, I obviously went break even after this high got swept, okay? And obviously you can see we got stopped break even and then we went towards our take profits. Now, the reason that I went break even here, right? Usually with the strategy that I trade, right? We go break even at that internal high. That essentially it's that most recent high or that most recent low, right? If you're targeting longs or shorts. It's the most recent high you put in or the most recent low. Okay, that's the one you go break even off of. So a normal trade, normal day, right? This is our point of break even. Okay, now the reason that I didn't want to go break even here was because of how strong our draw was. Okay, our draw is this new week opening gap, giant new week opening gap. That's a really strong draw on liquidity, right? That is not something that I want to essentially treat lightly, right? It's not a strong draw liquidity. It's a really strong, and we're delivering off of the highest time frame gap that I even trade, right? So therefore, I have a lot of confidence that we're going to continue in that direction. So normally, I would have gone break even after this high, then let it run the extra 3 points towards my take profit, okay? That's what I normally would have done, okay? But the reason that I did go break even after this high got swept is because we ended up creating an SMT with this high on ES. So from this high right here down to here, as you can see over here on ES, I believe it's this one, up to this one. No, yes. As you can see, right, we had already swept out that high. So that's where managing your position comes into play, right? Because you're looking at the charts, you're seeing, okay, we have a really strong draw on liquidity, right? There's really big potential that we could continue to flush, okay? However, we want to play it safe. We are technically inside of an hourly, okay? And we're seeing a reaction off of that, right? Then next, we're also saying, okay, We just swept that out, which was essentially our take profit, right? Would have been our take profit if this was a 1-to-1. This would be our take profit, right? And you guys know if you have SMT, if you have an SMT at your take profit, right? You want to manage your position in some sort of way, either moving your stops to break even, either closing your position, whatever it may be, right? So in this scenario, I ended up moving my stops to break even after this sweep off of this SMT right here, right? So that's why I went break even. In a normal situation, I liked this draw. This was very strong. If we did not put in an SMT here, I would have held this all the way through. Okay, but unfortunately, in this scenario, we did end up getting stop break even. Obviously, you see $2.50 across like 3 counts, so you can do the math on that. $7.50, so I can go buy a McDonald's cheeseburger now. But with that being said, that was a trade from today. Pretty unfortunate, but I'm not mad at all, right? It was a beautiful trade. I literally told my Discord as we were live trading, I was saying, hey guys, this is literally an unreal setup. Okay, if you want to hold this all the way out, you totally can. Okay, I'm going to manage my position just because I've been getting effed in January so far. So I managed my position accordingly, and obviously you can see that it ended up working out. Unfortunately, we just did not get in that position, but it's all good, right? We're going to move on to the next day. Not that big of a deal. With that being said, that's a trade from today. Going to keep it super short and sweet. But yeah, that's trade from today. Once again, if I trade tomorrow, you guys will see me tomorrow. If I don't trade tomorrow, you won't see me tomorrow. Okay, and yeah, that's going to be it. Oh, last thing too. I did tell my Discord, I said, okay, as this is moving down, I told them there's a point of re-entry if we end up sweeping out this low, putting in an SMT, right? Because then that would trump this SMT because I'm targeting longs, right? So it's all kind of discretionary at the end of the day. But that being said, that's going to be it. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that jazz. Comment down below if you took this trade. Comment down below if you took a different trade, whatever it may be, right? I'll catch you boys in the next one.